Hello everybody and welcome to the Raw Obsidian Podcast. My name is Kris and you can find me on the internet, on Instagram, Ravelry, at Obsidian Brat, and on the Making app at Raw Obsidian Knits. Whew, third week in a row. I feel really good about being consistent. What I don't feel good about is how squeaky this chair is. Anyways, I have been up to a lot of making. I've been prioritizing a lot of crafting, making, spinning, knitting, yada, yada, yada. And it's been really good. Feels really good. Yeah. I got whips. And yes, whips as in plural. So, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have taken the time to go through my whips basket in January, frog the ones that I was not excited about anymore, finish the ones that I was excited about, and started a monogamous knitting journey. Now, lo and behold, I missed a couple of things, which truly bums me out. Because I just really wanted to focus on one thing at a time and then cast on something new every time and not have to worry about other projects overwhelming me. But here we are. So the first knit whip that I found that was hiding is this pair of socks. I don't know why I thought I finished these socks for Jordan, but I did not. Jordan is my husband, for those of you who are not familiar with him. And so I have to finish these, and I'm doing an afterthought heel so I can just knit a long tube and get these socks done, because I am notorious for sitting on single sock island for a really long time, and I don't want to do that. So I'm working on these diligently. And the colorway for the yarn is Scar by Rebel Woolworks, and it was part of a villain series. There's like Cruella de Vil, Ursula, like there's like tons of like villains that Tara from Rebel Woolworks in. And so I got this one for Jordan because he likes a good brown, fun, brindly looking sock. So this is one of my whips, plural. My original monogamous knitting project, the coat for Roxane, is coming along so nicely, y'all. So, I have finally separated the sleeves from the body, cast it on my armpit, yada yadas, and I'm just making my way. And I am so excited. This already fits super good. I'm excited to try the A-line shaping that it calls for in the pattern. Buttons, I've never done buttons before. Making a button band separate. Pockets. A hood. This is going to be very, very nice. I'm super excited. And I'm basically at the end of ball number 3. I'm going to be attaching ball number 4. I've got this full bag with an ink stain that I don't know what came from of yarn, and it's the Plymoth Tweed Virgin Lambswool is what I'm using for that sweater. And I started with 15 balls of yarn, y'all, and I'm down to like 12. This baby, she thick. But yeah, so that is another whip. And lastly, my third knitting whip, I just finished swapping. This room used to be Zaz's room, and the room next door used to be the guest room, and I swapped them because our neighbor next door was really loud and had a very loud TV, and Zaz kept waking up in the middle of the night. So, the joys of living in a duplex. So, I swapped their rooms, and I finally finished swapping the closets. And so now this room is back to being my craft room / guest room, and Zaz has their own 100% their room again, and is sleeping much better, thank God. So in that move, I found another whip, y'all. And you know, this one I'm actually okay with because it is a stash busting whip. It's currently, and I know that I put it aside because I lost one of the interchangeable needles. It's one of my first interchangeable needle sets that I got from a friend, and then I just something happened to the cable and it broke, and I lost the needle, one of them, and so I couldn't finish the project because the project calls for size 10 needles. And now that I got my new Knitter's Pride deluxe ginger set, it comes with up to size 17 needles, so now I can start that project again. So it's the West Knits blanket. It's like the garter edge blanket. I'll insert the name of it right here and down below. And it's very squishy. And when I started it, I used a bunch of ends of yarn just to get rid of them, because y'all know that tiny little balls of ends is just the most annoying thing to have floating around in your stash. They get tangled, it's just, I hate it. I really hate having a bunch of ends. And so I used I used all of my ends that I had that were tiny. And it made quite a dent in that blanket. And so I just talked about getting more yarn last week, so I have more yarn to put into this blanket. I am not worried about color. I just want to bust my stash, and so now that I have the needles, I can finally work on it. The downside is that it's spring, which is nice, but when the summer hits, y'all, I'm not gonna want to knit on that blanket. So I'm going to be knitting. I have 2 long haul projects, my coat and this blanket, and then a pair of socks. And I'm just gonna try really hard to just get this done before summer hits, before I cast on anything else. Yeah. But the blanket is really cool. If you want to bust your stash, get rid of some yarn so you can keep on buying more yarn, I recommend the blanket. It's really nice. Yeah, it's really, really nice. So that's that for knitting whips. Let's move on to spinning whips. So, I have this beautiful basket of fiber that is also from Rebel Woolworks. It is a combination of wool, cashmere, silk, baby camel. I want to say Angora, but I feel like that's a lie. Some other fibers. And y'all, it is soft. Like, okay, so like look at that fiber. Beautiful colorway from Rebel Woolworks. Tara is a master at creating these colorways that I love so much. And then there's just the single ready to go. And I'm doing, and that, this is 50 grams. The rest of this in here is 50 grams. There's what I started. And then I came across a problem, because that's just what my week has been. So my spinning wheel, I have an Ashford Traveler. It's a single treadle. It's got Scotch tension. It's beautiful. I love it. It's my first wheel. And there's some things I need to replace the spring for the tension on it. But you know, we still out here spinning regardless. But the sad thing is that my drive band, let me show you. My drive band absolutely reached its limit. Like, and it wasn't like this when I started spinning this batch of fiber. It just like happened in a matter of like 30 minutes. Well, not even that. It happened in a matter of like minutes of me starting that second bobbin, and it just went and I was just like, oh no. So I can't finish this spin until I replace the drive band. I've been reading a lot about, I don't want to just buy a drive band for my spinning wheel, because I feel weird paying $6 for literally this, but new and fresh. It feels really weird to me to pay that much money, because you know, it's a specialty thing, you know, but I hate spending money. So I looked it up, and I can use cotton yarn, which I have in my stash, worsted weight something, and we're gonna give that a go, and see how that works out. I've read it does like stretch out more so than the hemp cotton twine that you can buy from Woolery. But you know, I'm in a pinch. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna see how it goes, and then reevaluate from there. I really just want to finish this whip and then decide on what I'm gonna do. If not, I have other places that I can go to purchase the same thing, but it won't be nearly as expensive as buying it from Woolery, even though I love Woolery. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. A lovely snafu. Yep, that's that for my spinning. Beautiful yarn though. I just love this colorway. It's so pretty. And I usually chain ply, but I'm not chain plying this time. I'm going to experiment with 2-ply and see how I like it. I'm not very good with 2-ply. I'm really good with chain ply, so we'll just see. We'll see what happens. You know, practice. All right, on to my next whip, which is not knitting, it's not spinning, it's punch needle. So, for my birthday, my mother-in-law asked me what I would like because she wanted to get me a gift. And I told her I was really interested in punch needle and I wanted to try it out and see how I liked it. So she got me from Woolery the Ultra Punch needle. And it comes with 2 of these little threaders and 2 more additional needles of different diameter. There's like a small, a medium, and then I'm using the largest one on this. An additional spring for the smaller needles. And she also got me this punch needle kit to make a little Monstera pattern. And so this is the working side of my project, and then this is the other side of it, and I think it's looking pretty good. You know, I have like threads that I'll either snip or like pull through, but it's looking like really, really nice. And I'm 100% in love with punch needle now. So I'm going to invest in buying some monk's cloth and making some punch needle things that will also help me bust through my yarn stash. Buying additional size punch needles that are like bigger diameter for like the thicker, bulkier yarns that I have. And maybe selling them on Etsy or in my coffee that I have set up. Because this is fun. This is like really, really fun. And I'm really excited about it. It definitely took me a minute to figure it out, but you know, with learning new things, that's just, you gotta like let that happen and go with the process, and I'm like really excited about this. So I'm excited to work on this more and finish it up and hang it up in my craft room. Probably up there. We shall see. Oh yeah, and I should mention that the Ultra Punch comes with a little instruction booklet to teach you how to use it. It does have a little adjustable spot so you can adjust the length of the needle, which is really nice. Yeah, really fun stuff. If you haven't tried punch needle, I would recommend it. It really is as easy as like buying the needle and getting like a project. And the reason why I settled on this one is because it's plant related, so I love plant related botanical projects, but this also recommended the Ultra Punch with this kit, so which is nice that it has recommendations in Woolery for certain like project kits. And so I did it, and I like the Ultra Punch. I do want to work with thicker yarns at some point, but for like small embroidery, it's really nice. It's really, really nice. And I think, you know, it was $26.99 for the punch needle, and oh god, I can't remember how much this was, but you know, it's half the price of an Oxford, and if you're not sure if you're gonna like it, there's also an even cheaper one for like $11.99 on Woolery. So, you know, things to think about when and if you want to get into punch needle. Yep, so that's, those are my whips. And they're all diverse, which is really nice. It's nice to like not just have, I mean, I have multiple knitting whips right now, but it's nice to not have something that is just knitting. It gives my hands a break because I do deal with chronic hand pain, with repetitive stuff, so I'm doing something different with my hands, which is like super nice. I am doing stretches and like PT exercises for my hands and my wrists, because I do have some beginning stages of arthritis, but also I have carpal tunnel in both my hands, but my left hand is the one that I have it the most because I also play guitar and knit, and then I knit continental, so yeah. Yeah, so, you know, you gotta take care, and it's good to have varying things that I do with my hands, and it's also good that I give myself rest days, so I'm not just like really going ham. Yeah, so that's that for my whips. I have one FO to show, and it is spinning related. So last week I had on the bobbins the last bit of my Polworth silk fiber from Greenwood Fiberworks, and I finished plying it. And so I did chain ply, Navajo ply this, and I have not washed or thwacked this yet. So, I mean, it's finished, but it's not finished at the same time. But it's really fun to spin and have a finished spinning project, because look at how beautiful it is. And it's not consistent. I wasn't going for consistency. I was just going for practice and to just get into the swing of it. And I'm a weirdo. I like inconsistent yarns, because specifically hand spun, because you just get this variance of texture and like softness. It's really nice. So I kind of want to pair it with this for a project, but I'm thinking like if I do that, I'm going to have to forego doing 2-ply with this, and I will have to chain ply it just to make sure that the weights kind of match. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it would be really fun. The only thing I'm like kind of like apprehensive about is this already has so much orange in it, and this orange is so similar. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But this is so nice. It's so soft. It's so squishy and bouncy. Ugh. And it smells good. Oh, it smells so good. But this is my FO. Yay, finished objects. Specifically when it's spinning related. I'm trying to be more consistent. Other than that, upcoming projects for spinning, other than finishing this and plying this, is I still have the same Polworth silk from Greenwood Fiberworks, but in chocolate. And I need to spin this. How many grams is this? Oh, this is 4 ounces. This is 4 ounces of the silkies. The Polworth and silkies. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so soft. It's like a little braid beard. It's really soft. It's nice. So we'll see. This is on my next to spin after I spin that. And then I'm out of fiber, which means I can buy more fiber, which is exciting. So yeah, that is it. That is it, y'all. Plans for the future. So for the next episode, I will be on the road. Me and Jordan and Zaz are going on a fun spring break camper adventure, and We're going to Western Oregon, Central Oregon, and Southern Oregon because Jordan is racing in an enduro cross race. It's a dirt bike racing. And so we have to go to Southern Oregon for that. So we'll be doing like a little loop. We are going to be in the Eugene area, Bend area, and then all the way down to Medford area for the race, and then back to good old Eastern Oregon. So hopefully while I'm on the road, I will be able to film something and post it on the weekend, but it all depends on if I have internet or not. And if I don't have internet, then it'll probably have to be a weekday posting of the episode. So bear with me. As always, it is really good to be back, and it feels really good to be consistent with the podcast again. Thank you so much for being here and watching. If you want, you can like and subscribe if you want to keep getting my content. If you want to know when I'm posting, you can ring the bell at the bottom just to get that notification. If you want to support the channel, share it with your friends. Share this episode with your friends. If you want to support monetarily, just to continue with, possibly getting a new camera. I'm still recording with my phone. I got it to work. And, just in general, supplies, fun yarn, other things. You can donate to my coffee. Here's the link. I will also link it down below. Yeah, thanks again for being here. Love ya all. I will see you hopefully next week. Bye y'all.